Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the TriChattersPodcast Chat. I am your host, Variety, also known as Ryan, and today with me, I have a very special guest from the Gaming Pod Show podcast. It is the owner. It's just DJ13, also known as Dan. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. We will obviously we'll keep it as a I don't know. We'll still keep it on the shelf. So I'm not going to say it's dead entirely. We might be making a comeback at some stage, but we're good. But anyway, yeah. Thanks very much for joining. Let me join the show. It's actually quite nice to be a guest
Yeah,
instead. It's the roles have returned and
yeah.
reversed this time round.
Tables have turned and everything's all good. So yeah, welcome, welcome. Obviously, this is the Try Chatters podcast chat, and what we basically do is we just talk shit for about an hour or so, and get into some in depth.
Unorganised shit talk. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like
we
that. It's
just we
good.
just talk about what's trending. Like we spoke about, the Crash Bandicoot 25th anniversary, which was yesterday. So big up our guy Crash, the original first
Oh
game
man.
back
The
in
OG on the PlayStation 1.
back in 1996, September 9th.
Oh, dude, I love that game. I put so many hours into that game when I was a
Yeah,
kid.
I
Absolutely loved it.
yeah, I remember playing it as a kid as well on the PlayStation. I didn't know what to do. And like all I did was like jump around and just like break crates, kind of like wumper through. Did some of the
All about that
levels.
soundtrack, though. All about that soundtrack.
Oh, that soundtrack.
Best one.
Oh, I can even like imagine it right now. I've got it stuck in my head. It's that catchy. But
It's
yeah,
one of those things. As soon as someone says the game, it's just like it's there. You just start humming it already, and it's
oh
like you're not
yeah,
even playing it. You're nowhere near any phone to test to go onto YouTube to find the soundtrack. You just know it. If you're an OG player like myself, and
yeah,
you know the song straight away. Easy.
yeah. It's that catchy. And it's like if you like hear it playing in the background, it's like oh shit, my jam and
Oh man, the OG way though. None of this like. I mean, have you ever seen the game that's actually got Crash Bandicoot on the what's it? I think it's up on the smartphones now, haven't they? They've got like the Nitro Run or like Crash Run or whatever it was.
oh something like that. It's like a Temple Run spin off like Crash Bandicoot. I think something like that.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Yeah, so it's something like that.
Yeah, but
I don't know. It's quite. It's not bad. Don't get me wrong. It's okay. It's not that fantastic. I'm not gonna lie, but there are times where I look at it and I'm thinking like,
it's like
it's a bit
can't
like
compete.
okay.
It can't compete with the OG Crash games and but yeah, big up our man Crash. Happy 25 years. Still
It's a
going
long
strong.
time though. That's
Oh
that's,
yeah,
that's a very long time, man.
still going
That's
strong.
crazy.
Although, I mean, it's about time didn't hasn't lived up to its standards. I know like some of the returning characters from the OG games made a return, but the story just never made any sense. Like time travel, different realities, and it's just confusing. Like I just didn't like it. I've got it, not playing in the background. I started playing it, but I got stuck on one level. I just couldn't be asked to play it. To be honest, I thought, you know what, I'll stop playing it until.
I've got you know what the amount of people that have actually tried that as well as I couldn't believe it. There's a few times where I've had I've had that sort of game where I've loaded up the game and I found my memory card from like years ago and I thought to myself, do you know what? Let's slam it in there and see how far I got. I think it's like the last level where you're in like some sort of factory, and I was like, oh man, I remember so much struggling with this when I was a kid, and I was like, I kind of remember how to do it, even in my adult ages now. And I was like, you know what? I might have to create a new save file just to try and
Yeah,
rush through it all to try and get to the
just to
same level.
speed run and try and get it
Oh,
done.
don't. I got to the factory level and I still can't pass it. I still find it so difficult, so
Yeah.
so hard. I thought to myself, Christ, no wonder I struggled when I was a kid. I was like, Jesus Christ, bloody nightmare. But no,
Yeah.
it's still a good game. Don't get me wrong, it's absolutely fantastic.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's still going strong, but like I said, Crash for It's About Time didn't live up to its standards as we thought it would. Mainly because some of the levels, the story involving like time travel and different realities and multiverses, all that kind of stuff. It just made like no sense.
Not gonna lie though, it's all about that Nitro Crash Racing or something like that.
Nitro Kart.
Crash Team Racing,
Yeah,
that's the
Crash
one.
Team
Oh,
Racing.
I fucking love that game.
Obviously, the original 19. I think it's like the 1999 or maybe the early 2000s. It was released, and obviously, I think it was Naughty Dog who made that remake. Back in
Yeah, man, I love
2000.
that. I do like Naughty Dog and their remakes,
Oh yeah.
especially when they had the Crash Team Racing, mate. That was quality. I think
Oh
it was when it was kind of a fight between Mario Kart Racing and Crash Team Racing. Because on Mario Kart, you had way back in '92, I think it was, or '93, and that was like the OG ones on the Super SNES.
yeah.
So back in that time, obviously, it did kind of kick off a little bit, but I don't know. I mean, Crash Team Racing was good for its time, but obviously when they didn't kind of pursue it with the game, that I think Nintendo had the upper hand with Mario Kart. I
Yeah.
mean, they're on like what Mario Kart 8 or 9, something like that now. It's stupid. I mean, I think
It's
Nintendo should
ridiculous
technically
how good
calm
it
down.
is.
Yeah, they should calm down with Mario Kart now. I'm not gonna lie. They should just kind of just put it to rest. I think
Yeah,
Mario's had enough of his driving
the
now.
milking Mario from like 19. It was like 1970. Just like late 70s,
I
early
know, I
80s.
know. One of them was 1987, only because that's one of my games that I got on my official birthday, and I remember buying that. It was first the Nintendo Entertainment System, which was the first one, and then I call the OG Super Nintendo Entertainment System because that was when it was the SNES, and you actually had the coloured buttons on the control pad. That's what I remember getting when I was a kid. And when
Yeah,
I was old enough to play it, I played the one that I got on my birthday, and I played it till the cows come home. I played it so many times; it was ridiculous.
yeah,
And I think the worst of it is when I actually upgraded to the PlayStation 1, I still decided to play the SNES because they were the ones that you didn't have no loading times at all. You literally just slam it in there and away you go. There'd be like no problems at all.
oh
I
yeah,
think nowadays it's like I'm too scared to turn the PlayStation on just in case another game says, "Oh, by the way, you've got an update," and that's like 7 gig, and it's like, "Oh fuck."
updates on the PlayStation is like in general getting ridiculous. Like
Oh, dude, even the ones where it's like, "Oh, by the way, COD Warzone's got an
a
update," and
five
I'm like,
million
"Oh,
gig
son of a
update.
bitch!" And it's like, "Yeah, that's going to be like 40 million gig just for
Yeah,
just
it's
to update a map." Nah,
just to update the games. Like you gotta delete some of the games you already played just to download Warzone, or you gotta cough up
it's mad.
like 80 quid, just like a 10 terabyte external hard drive just to download that said game.
Oh, don't! It's the worst, mate. Absolute worst.
It's
Because sometimes I look at it and I think to myself like, "Oh, do you know what? I don't even want to play the game. I thought I'd get the boys and be like, yeah, let's play Warzone," and then you've got like 30 gig download just for an update, and you're like, "No, I can't be asked." And even that would take about 6 hours,
at
especially on my
least.
sort of
Yeah,
internet speed. I'm like, "Nah, bollocks."
it's ridiculous. Like most games have like probably like 2 gig, 3 gig update. Warzone, 5 million gigabytes just to nerf some weapons, update get rid of some bugs and update the map now and then, or add new stuff. It's
Or they like
ridiculous.
they kind of debug some weapons that are like
Yeah,
OP, and obviously
buffing
the COD.
weapons, nerfing
Yeah,
weapons.
that's it. Or the Call of Duty community are crying because of how good one weapon is because every fucker's using it.
Yeah,
So then then obviously the makers are like, "Oh, we'll just debug it a little bit and make
yeah,
it worse for everyone else." And it's like, yeah, nice one.
yeah.
That sounds like a great
Same
plan.
news. Another thing, obviously, Activision. I think Activision and Raven had to ban like 100,000 accounts again. I think it was like this month, which is good. Banning those hackers and cheaters, but they're continuously creating more accounts and ruining the fun for us gamers and for us like Call of Duty fans. It's just like ridiculous.
Don't really do them any favors anyway. To be fair, I think that's half the problem, especially when they're trying to compete with Battle. I think it's Battlefield now. That's one of the newer ones that have coming out, and I think the amount of footage I've seen that on that gameplay already seems to be blowing Call of Duty out of the water. But the only problem that I've seen as well as, I think I saw this on, funny enough, on Snapchat, there was a report from SVG saying that there are people on the internet already trying to sell aimbots, skin packs, cheat codes, and other sort of malware affection fucking programs for the newest upcoming Battlefield game. And even then, I'm thinking like, you've got nothing else better to do. I mean, like, why can't you just play the game for fun, for entertainment value? I know, obviously, it most likely will be going into an esports sort of form because it's going to be a popular title. I mean, especially like Warzone, of how quick that went into it. Yeah, it's going to be a popular one, and yes, it's also going to be very good. Well, to be on an esports channel. I mean, Fortnite's still going, and that's been going for like what, several years.
Yeah.
It's crazy how long that's been going for. I thought that would have kind of nipped itself in the bud and finished that off, but that's
No,
still
it's
surviving,
still going
sadly.
strong. Like
But
season.
now I've still, I mean, I'll still stand by my guns. The business way they do it, superb. The actual gameplay itself, not so good. I mean, even when my son says he wants to play it, I'm like, yeah, go on. If you want to play it, go for it. But I just look at the game and think, why does everyone on this planet like this game? I don't understand it. It's not even catchy.
No.
I can't do it. But I'll tell you what, there is a game that I have played, and it is Death Stranding. It's Hideo Kojima's little baby
Oh
from
yeah.
Kojima Productions. Now, I remember talking about this on the Gaming Pod Show podcast. We had a little segment on the show, and I was pretty much on the fence from day one. And I think when it got to that sort of time where I was really like, I'm not really too sure about it. I know Hideo Kojima is a good storyteller, and he's obviously very dark with his sort of characters. But I'm not going to lie, he's researched for characters and history and everything. I mean, especially if you have seen Metal Gear Solid games, for example. I know obviously there's a lot of fiction, but there's also a lot of fact in the games as well as, which is very, very clever. So it was a little bit deceiving at first because I thought like, oh, it's going to be a brand new game. It's going to be like massively different compared to what he's been first off. So I was like, do you know what? I'll watch a few streams of it when it's live and a few YouTube videos, and I'll see what it's all about, and I'll get my sort of opinion on it.
Yeah.
And I think from the outlook of it, it looked like basically like a very, very weird sort of zombie undead mountain hiking Castle Falls game. I know that's like the weirdest way you can think about it, but I mean, pretty much like the world's gone to shit, and like certain people are living in certain areas. You have to kind of right, okay, a little bit of a spoiler alert if anyone hasn't played Death Stranding, so just to kind of shout that out. You pretty much have to make a connection through the USA, so it's like you get this little part of the map where you get to like you build certain like bits, like post boxes to kind of hide stuff, and you're pretty much like the main delivery guy that runs around everywhere. You're delivering supplies like blood bags, medical equipment, food, fresh water, electronics, technology gadgets, etc. And the more and more you do this, you're finding something called BTs, which are like people that are kind of stranded from the living and the undead, but you're in limbo. It's very difficult to understand. It's very difficult to kind of explain. But the first two chapters, I was told by a buddy of mine when he lent me the game, and he was like, "Look, skip through the first two, three, possibly four chapters, because then the story starts getting really, really interesting." I'm like, do you know what? I'll take your word. Let's give it a go. See how we get on. Yeah, the first two chapters are fucking dead boring. They're like dead boring. Like literally, like how to do this, how to use this, and it's like a typical Hideo Kojima game where it's like the entire game looks beautiful. I mean, even the photography mode, but I'll get into that in a little bit. I actually found that out by mistake, funny enough. And it's nothing like the Metal Gear games. Like the Metal Gear games are really good and like visually very, very good as well. Some of the cutscenes are stunning, but watching this with the cutscenes, it's amazing. Some of the stuff I know, all the time he's put into it, all the effort, it's really, really good. Very, very well done. The only thing I find a little bit repetitive was some of the deliveries because it was like once one part of the story was kind of going, you didn't have to do another, and then that kind of got a little bit tedious. But when the story progressed, and then you started unlocking weapons, better gear, and then better items to get you through the levels a little bit quicker, it did become a little bit more exciting because you think, well, cool. The more I progress through the levels, the more cool stuff in the game, and I'm literally just breezing through everything. Now I've got if there's an attack, just whip out one of the stun guns, shoot everyone, run off, and I'm like, yeah, up yours, all done. But when you actually go through there's so many times it's a typical Hideo Kojima mindfuck. You're sitting and watching the cutscene, and you're like, I'll process all of it, and if you're not paying attention, you miss something. You can miss a very, very vital part of the cutscene. You've got to go back on yourself. That's where you're like, oh shit, dude, that's really it's really confusing.
Yeah.
That's what kind of made it a little worse more than anything. But I mean, it's a great game. Don't get me wrong. I can't really mark it too high because I think the delivery's kind of bought it for me. If I'm honest, if there was more action, more so than running around. I mean, there's action where you have to use like climbing tools to get yourself up and down cliff sides and over rivers and streams, and you can build things which are like 3D printed at the time, so you could build like zip lines, um, big overhaul bridges. There's loads of stuff you can build, but I mean, it's one of those games that you actually have to play to kind of understand it, And it's like, and especially with all the items and the characters are next level. I think they're very well designed and developed throughout the story, so they're really, really good. Especially their background and their history.
Yeah.
Really, really superb game, but it's definitely one of those things you've got to play to understand mentally because it's just too much to explain. Especially in the time that you've got for this podcast, as well as I don't think you'll have enough time for it either. Otherwise, I'll just take your time with it all. It's going to take you. Well, it'll just be too boring for you, I think, at one point.
No, it's fine. I'm still listening. You talk about Death Stranding. If you're interested, and you just talk about it.
Oh man, Death Stranding is cool though. I'm not going
Yeah.
to lie, it is really, really good.
Yeah, I think
I
I'm.
think the only thing that I did kind of struggle with at some stage was there was a few where I did kind of think, not really too sure about it. So I did kind of have to take a few, a few steps out of it. I was kind of a little bit concerned. There was a few times where I kind of think like, yeah, I'm not really too sure about this one.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There was like one time I did really well with the game, and then other times where I flooded through like several missions. I was like, yeah, do you know what? This is so fucking boring. I was like, I've got to stop this now. It's like it's all too much. It's like I couldn't do it. It's like, nah, sorry, mate. Couldn't carry on with it. I suppose once you got to I don't know. Once you got to a certain aspect of the game, and then that you could really fly through it, you could, it was a breeze. Once you had weapons and bosses, and you'd be like, yeah, fuck you, done. So simple. I think there was one part of the game where it kind of felt like an old Metal Gear Solid codec moment, where it's like, wasn't Meryl's codec on the back of the CD case? And I remember as a kid, I was like, what the fuck have you just asked me? And then playing the game again, where he was like, oh, he's referring to the game console's gaming packet. Turn it around, and he's like, oh, and it's actually printed on the back. Very clever, Konami and Hideo Kojima. Very clever. But it's like, I think it took a while because the game sends you in-game emails. So that's the sort of feature that I forgot about. And it's only until when one of the main characters said, why don't you check your PDA system to see if there's an email about like a certain area or a district you should go visit. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, this sounds interesting. I think I had about 237 emails to go through. I was
Jesus
like, oh
Christ.
man. I was like, I forgot about this. It's like it prompted
Uh,
you in the storyline that you had to keep your eye on the emails because sometimes they post relatively good information where you can get upgrades for your equipment and stuff. Yeah, I
Jesus.
missed that shit.
Oh
So
no.
237 emails, I had to sit down. I think that must have went through about an hour's worth.
My
Oh
God.
man, that was the sort of time where I was quite tempted just to take the disc out and hand it back to my flatmate and be like, do
Just
you know
like,
what? I
here
can't
you
do
go.
that. That's
I
what,
can't be
no,
asked.
I'm done. I'm done. It's like
Yeah.
totally done. Could not do that. I was like, no, sorry, mate.
Jesus.
Unbelievable. But anyway,
But yeah.
apart from that, I thought it was an enjoyable game.
Yeah.
Hideo Kojima did well for himself. I know a lot of people did kind of give it a big amount of stick, saying it's a futuristic postal service delivery game. And I was like, yeah, well, that is kind of what it is.
Yeah. obviously Norman
It's
Reedus.
the adventure. Yeah, that's. I mean, he's a cool character. Don't get me
He's a good
wrong. And there's
actor
a
as
lot of
well.
there is a lot of features in certain areas of the game where you could kind of play around with him. I mean, especially with the photography mode, it is a superb button in the game, and I mean, I pressed it by accident, and it's got nothing. I think it's got nothing compared to a few photo editors. I'm not going to say it's as good as the GTA 5 Rockstar editor because that free camera you can go absolutely ham on that.
Oh yeah,
But
definitely.
within reason, it's like you can only go a certain distance. You can only turn and rotate it a certain way, and you know, blah blah blah. And I was kind of thinking like, this is a little bit interesting to see. Um, but yeah, I mean, the photography mode is really good. It does give you a couple of features to play around with, and especially you can make your own poster and stuff. And I've seen a few communities on Reddit and Discord and Instagram. So I thought, well, that's definitely going to be something I'd like to kind of post on a regular now. I've seen several communities on Reddit that really do post some superb photography on, especially like Horizon Zero Dawn. That game is phenomenal. Some of the photographs people have been coming out with that is next level. It's like Jesus Christ, you spend hours on photo mode on that. That's mad. It's like, how far have you got in the game? And I'm like, I've only played 10 minutes. You think Jesus Christ? But no, there's some games if you really get into it, it's one of those things you're just going to carry on with it. I mean, what's your sort of lead on any sort of games with photo mode, or is that something you kind of dodge?
I kind of dodge now and then with. Wait, what? It's like you're being the host again. What the fuck?
Oh
Jason.
yeah, sorry, just a general question I asked. I
Yeah.
thought, oh, I
Fuck.
realise it.
Damn it. Yeah. I kind of avoid some photo modes and editors, but the one I usually go for is either Fallout 76 editor. When I take like screenshots and post them on socials, or probably the Rockstar editor because I can basically fuck around with that. I can just like record a short footage and that you know get that footage and like literally take a photo of like me and a couple of guys and just like post it on like I said my socials. But
Yeah,
they're the only photo modes I actually use. With other games, I didn't realize there was a photo mode, you know, at all. I didn't realize they added one, but yeah, that's pretty much it to be honest.
that's pretty rad though, man. That's good. I know some people they kind of legitimately want to sit there and just go through every single game to find a decent photography mode. I mean, they can sit on Amazon and eBay and every other game sort of website that sells video games to see if they've got a decent,
Photo mode,
just a
yeah,
decent photo mode. I mean, like sometimes I look at it and think like, oh man, really? It's like that's just crazy.
yeah,
It's stupid, but I don't know, man. Photo mode doesn't really sell it for me. I mean, if it has to be one of those games that I can actually get involved with. If the storyline's pretty good, the graphics are okay, but the characters are wank, you can't really get behind them that much. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's
I
difficult.
agree
If
with
it's
that.
anything like Red Dead Redemption 2, I mean
Yeah,
that's different. I mean the story. I mean Arthur Morgan, for example. I mean superb character. Storyline was really really good. I can't knock that at all.
it was
Um,
fantastic. Honestly,
I think I think personally the problem with Rockstar Games is when they wanted to do the online multiplayer for Red Dead Online, it was like the biggest, rockiest start
oh yeah,
of
it
that
was.
game, and I think that's the reason why so many people had such negativity for it.
Yeah, but it is slowly improving. Obviously, with the recent updates, you can now rob trains, I think homesteads, and some other things. But there's not a lot. Like comparing it to GTA Online, GTA you can purchase apartments, you can purchase garages, and you have like tons of missions, tons of races. Rockstar, or like with Red Dead Online, you get homesteads you can rob, bounties you can collect. You can't own any properties. You can't, like I mean, you can own like a stable, but like put your horse in it now and then. But that's it. But I don't reckon anything to the online. Like I play it now and then. just to get those freebies, like your $100 or something, like $250, and
Oh, that's the shit part, though, dude. That is the
oh really?
shittiest part. Where they're like, "Oh, hey, by the way, you can get free stuff." Oh, cool. Can you still rob a bank yet? No.
No.
Well, what the fuck is that all about? What's the point?
Yeah, I mean
I never
you can rob
understand it.
banks in the story mode. I know you can rob the Saint Denis Bank in like the final, not the final mission, but one of the missions where you basically have to go to Guarma, where you accidentally go to Guarma on the boat whilst trying to escape, and then the other bank is the one in Valentine. You can either silently rob it, or you can just like break in and just like go guns blazing. But not in online. You can't do the online robbing. Unfortunately, you can't do bank heists yet. Um, but I'm hoping Rockstar are going to release some kind of an update where you can actually, you know, posse up and just like rob banks. But we don't know. We do not know, unfortunately.
I have a feeling that Rockstar are going to say a solid no on that sort of case because I don't think that's going to happen. If I'm honest,
Yeah,
I have a feeling it's
it's just
just not going to happen, mate.
it's just
I
gonna
don't
blow
think.
over.
Yeah, it's just going to blow over, and that's pretty much it. It's
Yeah.
just going to be like, nope, nope, nope. Rockstar's going to be like, nope, don't know what you're on
No,
about.
no,
It's not going to
no.
happen. See you later, mate. And then that's it. And you think, fuck's sake, like,
Yeah.
what a massive waste of time that is.
No, I don't know. It might possibly happen in a future update. Rockstar may think about being generous, to their,
Hey,
because.
mate, he said, "Oh, BA, fucking hell, that's not going to happen at all." Can you imagine if they do that? Oh, yeah, Rockstar Games are now going to start behaving themselves and actually start to listen. And you think, like, that's won't. So they won't do
If
that
that
at all.
actually
With
happens,
like the
that'll be the
community have
day
been
I
banging
buy a
on about
lottery.
a yeah, go on.
If that actually happens, that'll be the day I buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah, and fucking win. That's the thing.
Yeah.
There is no chance of Rockstar decided. You know what? I'm actually gonna listen to the community and give
Yeah.
them. I mean, listen. I mean, talking about that as well as what do you think about the new update for what was it? The Street Riders
Oh,
or
the
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 Street
GT,
Underground Racing.
The GTA
Dude,
update.
how late is that? That should have been the first thing at the start of like the very first start download DLC. I mean, I know you had Beach Bums and then you had Los Santos Customs and all that.
Yeah.
That would have been perfect
The
right
Los
at the
Santos
start,
tuners, like I said, should have been, there and then. But
Yeah,
I'm like, it is a good update. You can like do street races. Obviously you
I
can.
think it would have just been better for the race car community because they I mean like I mean for example you got like the Lonely Gentleman Gang Starts. There are so many vehicles. I mean they're the only two that I know off the top of my head because I've been with them. I mean like you've got the gallery as well, which is
Yeah.
THA gallery. They're the only three that I know of that do that sort of like car meetings and stuff. But I mean, the Lonely Gentlemen and Gang Stars, they do it so professionally. They've got loads of videos on their Instagram about how they do lowered cars and stuff like that. But when this DLC came out, I'm kind of sitting there listening and watching the Rockstar Newswire and thinking, no, it's just too late. So you guys have missed the boat on this one. You needed to be out there. Especially when the casino took forever as well as, and when that was updated, that's now no one gives a toss about that. They just
No,
go in,
no.
spin the wheel, and then fuck off.
Yeah, it's
They
like
don't do anything in there. It's like the biggest waste of time.
it's like with the underground nightclub in the casino. No one goes to it now. Ever since they've released
Yeah,
it in the
it's like
Rico Heist update, like you only went once just to talk to Miguel Madrazo, just to set up you set up the heist, and then steal whatever needs to be stolen, and then that's it. No one
yeah,
does it anymore.
buy a submarine, do the heist like several times, so you've actually kind of repaid the mortgage on the submarine, and then
Exactly.
carry on. I mean, if you're like one of those OG players like myself, where you're like everything that's come out, you've grinded to buy everything,
Oh yeah,
and then
no.
you're like, I've got two. I mean, my sort of process of playing GTA when I very first started it in 2013, I think I went through five characters in total. I mean, when I went through like two characters on the PS3, and when I changed my PSN, eventually it was Sir Attitude from like I don't know, years and years ago. It was supposed to be. The story of that was a lot of people used to call me Sir Altitude because I was tall. I was the tallest in my school. At about 16, I was a whopping 6'4", and I was the tallest in my class. I actually no, I was tall. I was the tallest in my whole year, and that was my thing. And then when the PlayStation Online was out, I was like, you know what? That's a really good username. I'm going to use that. But me being fucking dyslexic, I couldn't spell, so it came out as attitude because I forgot the L and I couldn't spell altitude. So in the end, it was Sir Attitude. I was like, do you know what? I'll keep that. That sounds pretty rad. I'll keep it. That's fine. And then, like, the further and further I got into it, every time I kept looking at my username, I was like, I fucking hate my username. I've got to change it. And then there was this kid one of the kids at the skate park I was talking to, and then was introduced myself, and he like, he said, "Oh, my name's Tony." I went, "Oh, okay, my name's DJ." And they went, "What do you mean, like DJ? As in, like, does that mean something?" And I'm like, "No, it's just DJ." And then I clicked to that, and I thought, "Man, that's fucking that's such a sick username. Why haven't I used that before?" And then I went to I pretty much went to the PlayStation, renamed it, and I was like, right, it's just DJ, lucky number's 13, boom, set. So I've set that as my PlayStation username, my Instagram, my Discord. I literally went through like every single thing that I had, and I've changed it all to that because it's just so easy to fit. So easy, and especially if obviously if we get ever get a chance to get the Gaming podcast back up and running, I'd be bang on that because you could advertise that. You could be like, "Hey, it's just DJ, the host of the Gaming Pod Show." It just makes life easier to do that.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things. I can't have a crappy username anymore. It's like I'm done with being in the '90s having a shitty username. I think everyone's got one. I mean, to be fair, everyone's got a shit username, whether it's a username or an email address. I mean, everyone's got to have had one that especially in your lifetime, you have to have a shit username. Doesn't matter what it is to be used for, you have to have one. It's just like one of those life things
Yeah.
or life experiences you go through. You have a shit email address or username.
Fair enough. All right. Got one more thing to talk about before we end the episode. Have you seen the new Matrix trailer for Matrix Resurrections?
I didn't even know there was one. To be fair,
Oh
I
my
actually didn't even. What? When did? Hang on. When did this even start?
This was, I think it was yesterday or the day before. Basically, Matrix. There's a Matrix 4. There's a brand new trailer right now. Give me a second. I'm going to get it up, and we will react to it right now. Go live. Right. So, YouTube. Yeah, we are now going to be reacting to the Matrix trailer when I can get it up. God damn YouTube. Right. So yeah, Matrix 4 Resurrections has finally dropped its first trailer. Where is it? The Matrix 4. Oh, can you still see
Matrix 4. No way.
Can you see the thingy?
Do you know what I think? Do you know what I think? I have seen this. Now you've popped it up. I have a feeling because I thought it was like another. What's the other one that Keanu Reeves has been starring in the last couple of years?
John Wick.
John Wick. That's it. Because I just thought it was another John Wick film, and I was like, oh, I haven't even seen the first one to understand the next
Right.
one.
Let's go react to the official trailer of the Matrix Resurrections. But first, there's an ad. Fucking ads.
My job is to make college easier.
Yeah, I was gonna say, mute that shit. There's like last thing you want is that playing.
No, you don't want Grammarly. Oh my god, I hate when this happens.
No.
Oh my god.
Oh, we love YouTube ads.
Oh yeah. Right, here it is.
Thomas? You seem particularly triggered right now. Can you tell me what happened?
I've had dreams that weren't.
So I generally thought that was Agent Smith then.
No. Everyone's saying it was possibly Agent Smith. But I think this is just like a random artificial intelligence. Obviously, you see.
Am I crazy?
Yeah, because there's Keanu Reeves is like
We don't
John
use
Wick.
that word anymore.
Yeah, that's his.
Oh, it's the geezer from How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, Neil Patrick Harris.
That's it.
Right.
Cool. He been in the Matrix 4. That's weird.
Hi.
Right.
Does that mean Trinity's in there as well? Yeah, there she is.
Yeah,
Get
Trinity.
the spandex on, love. Go on, son. Not going to shave his head and his beard off, is he?
I don't know. Oh.
Oh, this is weird, man. I thought they'd finished and they weren't doing anything for the third one at all. I thought that was it.
Yeah.
Because I know they tried to carry on the story mode on the one of the PC games, I think it was.
Yeah.
If we want the truth, Neo,
So
you're going to
obviously,
have to.
so far, Neo. What I've heard so far is Neo, has been plugged back into the Matrix, and his memory has been, wiped. Well, it's not been wiped, but it's just like he's been given the blue pill to, make him forget, his past, stuff, from the first 3 films. Obviously, Morpheus, not Lawrence Fishburne's Morpheus, but a young Morpheus has now entered, and basically has given Neo the red pill to, help him remember. And obviously,
Right, okay.
basically, he's got to escape the
The only
Matrix
thing that
again.
matters to you is still here. I know it's why you're still fighting.
Got scared, but he wasn't he the one? He was the one though, wasn't he?
He
Like,
was the
throughout
one.
the entire thing.
No?
Oh shit!
Ooh, this is gonna be good.
Obviously, the machine world and the real world. Ancient civilizations. Show this. Agent Smiths.
Ah, there's the agents then. I knew they were going to be somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's all into the dramatic sort of ambient fighting though, isn't he? That's just how he is, his character. Oh, I love the fucking wall flips, man. They're rad as fuck.
Oh, Neo's ability to hold both back.
Oh, so does that mean he's still got the one's powers then?
Yeah, he's still got the powers that he managed to manifest from the first, from number 2. Well, from all movies actually. He basically gained those abilities somehow in the Matrix, and basically has made him to defeat enemies. And this guy here that I've paused it on, I think he's the architect, or like a younger version of the architect.
Back to the Matrix.
So yeah. Hell yeah, Resurrection for you.
That's going to be interesting.
12.
Resurrection, 22nd of December.
That's like 3 days before the holidays. Fuck. Oh damn.
That will be interesting. Oh, but is that American? Is that American time though? Because I think obviously America gets filmed before us.
Yeah, that's the American.
We'll probably get it next year then at some stage.
So we'll definitely get it next year. Although it may possibly be released on that day for the UK as well, I think. But we'll have to find out. Obviously,
That's interesting though, dude.
Yeah, we'll probably get another trailer very, very soon, with more information on possibly, the actual release date. But that is the end of the episode. Big thanks to It's Just DJ, also known as Dan, from the Gaming Pod Show podcast for entering the podcast itself. Really appreciate it. Thank you for.
It's
being on the
nice
show.
to be a guest, actually.
Yeah.
To be fair, there's no stress of pressing buttons and making sure the
No.
stream works. I've just sat here. It's
Yeah,
so weird.
all I do is just press two buttons, record it, press
Oh,
the same
it's
two
weird.
buttons, and just upload it straight away. Although this episode will be uploaded tomorrow morning, to be honest, because I don't have the energy to upload it
No, I
anymore.
don't blame you. I'm pretty fucked myself doing all these nights. They catch
Yeah.
up on you, mate.
Oh yeah, I hate working evening shifts. They suck ass.
Nah,
But
awful.
yeah, appreciate it. Appreciate it tuning in. Hopefully we're gonna
Nice.
get.
Well, thanks very much.
Yeah, hopefully we're gonna get some more people on. Probably another one of my co-hosts. Probably tomorrow, like next week or something. Obviously follow us on our socials. If you wanna plug your socials now, Dan, if you want to, if you got any socials.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think I've got 2 Instagram accounts. I've got my gaming one, which is pretty much all of my GTA content from streams and video clips and other stupid events, which is pretty much it's just DJ number 13. And then the one that I've recently started just a little while ago, so that's literally fresh. That's basically that's going to be my in real life blog that I'm going to be starting very soon. It's something that I've been looking into quite a lot. I've been doing a lot of free time photography, so it's something I wanted to try. So that's going to be it's just DJ underscore 13. So it's going to be 2 of the same accounts. One's got an underscore, one hasn't. The one that hasn't is all the gaming ones. It's pretty self-explanatory. You'll see it when you see it.
Yeah.
And then the one that has got the underscore is all my photography stuff. So
Oh.
they're the only 2. I think my Discord is kind of the same, I think. Yeah, it's just DJ, #7909.
Yep.
And just send me an invite to anyone's Discord server. I like a bit of banter and sharing memes and shit. So yeah. Add me up. Go for it from there.
Obviously, follow me on my social medias. They'll be in the description at the end of the video. Also, follow on our Patreon, which is patreon.com/TTCPC. I know I've got to work on that. The TriChattersPodcast.
Oh, you're going to work on that, Ryan?
I've got to work on that. I have to work TTCPC. It's fucking long, I know. See, I was going to go with TTCP, but that was taken. So I thought, add the C on the end just to, make it unique to the TriChatters podcast. Obviously, hit that $1 subscription. I have not posted anything because, obviously, the video files are too long, so I think I might post the YouTube URL on the Patreon instead, which would be easier. But yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. So I've been your host, Variety, also known as Ryan, and obviously it's been my guest, It's Just DJ, also known as Dan, and really appreciate it once again. And we will see you next time in a brand new episode, hopefully with more people. So stay healthy, stay safe, and adios and peace out.
So